Hello, welcome to Price London Fan TV, and welcome back after the international break. Conor Gallagher, of course, making his England debut. Fantastic for him. Maybe not so good for Crystal Palace, as he'll add on to his value and make the already difficult task of getting him in the next summer even harder. But of course, they have now got the answer to the debate of Gerrard, Lampard or Scholes. The answer is, of course, Conor Gallagher. Anyway, let's get into the review of the game at Turf Moor, where Crystal Palace travelled to Burnley to play Prince Harry's dad, Sean Dyche's Burnley, in a 3-3 draw. And a quite mixed game to review, really. I never really went into the game overly confident. I think you have to give Burnley respect. We have, in particular, don't have a very good recent record against Burnley, although, of course, this is a new Crystal Palace. But I think, the years of Burnley in the Premier League deserves respect. And Sean Dyche himself deserves respect. I think if his name was Sean Dyche or something like that, he'd get a hell of a lot more respect, even though I'm not too happy with some of his post-match comments. So I think, he said a point before the game. I don't think anyone would be sniffing at that. But I think the nature of two of the goals that we conceded in particular are frustrating. The third one from Cornet, who's been building up in form, was, of course, a really brilliant finish. But the other two, very frustrating. So let's get into all of that through the usual features, Vieira's rating and man of the match. And we'll start with Vieira's rating. I'm going to give Patrick Vieira a 7 for Saturday. Mainly because I think, like I said, you have to respect the point at Burnley. In terms of the team selection, a bit strange, I guess. I don't see why we're starting Jordan Ayew against the likes of Burnley. I get it when you go to places like Man City, and absolutely for his work rate. But for me, I'd like to see Eduardo, or at least they start against those kind of teams. And Luca and Kiate both playing. I thought these kind of days were gone. I think we've got the personnel to not be doing stuff like that against these kind of teams. But, Will Hughes, for example, there's a new product in the club shop called Where's Will? It's a book. Go and buy it. Where's Will? I was excited about him, but I don't know where he seems to be. I know he was injured recently. Surely he's got to feature in the next 2 weeks or so with the quick succession of games from the Villa into Leeds. But then again, you think Jordan Ayew on the right-hand side and playing both Luca and Kiate are negative moves, but we scored 3 goals. And ultimately, if you score 3 goals away from home, you should be winning a game of football. And that's where the frustration comes, I think, with Saturday. I think our problem is, it's obvious. It's defending from set plays, a damning stat. We've conceded 9, which is the most in the Premier League from set plays. And that's got to be rectified. And I know Patrick Vieira in his post-match interview said he shares that frustration. I know they've been working on it. Whatever they've been doing clearly hasn't worked, and they're going to have to go back to the drawing board before the Villa game. And listen, Vieira's got the right people, I think, around him. His coaching staff seem very, very thorough and experienced, and I'm sure they will get it right. I think the good news is this is something you can fix. And listen, the overall picture is still looking really, really good. And 61% possession again. 3 goals scored, like I said. If we can get this right, then we could really bomb up the league. And that's frustrating, isn't it? Looking back at some of the games, dare I mention it, the Brighton game, Arsenal, where we really should have got 3 points. We can rectify these errors, then we really could get up that league table. And we already are. So I think, going into the Villa game, that's got to be the clear target on the training ground. And sounding the sound bites from Vieira's post-match interview was that will be the case. And I think what was interesting, though, was I don't think these goals, sometimes on the set plays, I feel like, and this might be a bit harsh, that sometimes the errors come from a bit of unease in Guaita coming for a punch, or his over tendency to punch sometimes. But actually, he was very much on his line. So I think these are definitely structural issues within our defensive line that need to be analysed and need to be resolved. And as I said, Vieira's got some very thorough people alongside him. I'm sure they're going to get it right. And when they do get it right, it's going to be exciting for us. I do think we'll keep flying up that table. We can sort this glitch out. So frustrating in that sense, but lots of positives in the sense that Christian Benteke scored 2 goals, and he is my man of the match. Undoubtedly, he has to be man of the match for this game. 2 really well taken chances. And I think it shows as well what competition for places does, was Edouard's presence is really, I think, pushing him on. Obviously, the new style of play where you've got 60% possession opposed to 40 means he's going to get more chances. and he's looking good. He scored for Belgium as well midweek in the international. So where do you go? I mean, he's been playing Edouard out wide a little bit. I think Benteke keeps the shirt for the Villa game against his old club. And that game is going to be a tough one with the Steven Gerrard bounce. But I don't really feel going into any game at the moment we need to fear anyone. Could do with sorting the set plays out, though. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What would you do? What would your team be for the Villa game? That's, I think, going to be an interesting one. Would you take Jordan Ayew out and bring someone like Elise or Edouard in? When do we sort of ease Eze in? I still don't think he's ready to start from an injury like that. I think he'll be eased in through substitute appearances and a quick run of games against, as I said, with the Leeds game following on quickly from Villa. So we could see a change in personnel in both those games, and Vieira might have two plans in mind. So for me, yeah, I'd definitely be bringing someone in for Jordan Ayew, and I'd like to see Will Hughes in one of the games, Villa or Leeds. He's a player I was intrigued by when we signed him, and I'd like to see him. Would you like to see Will Hughes? What's your team for Villa? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you've liked this video, please press the subscribe button.